The NovoStitch Plus Meniscal Repair System allows you to quickly and easily repair a meniscus tear with a circumferential stitch to anatomically reduce and evenly compress the femoral and tibial sides of a tear, while avoiding capsular entrapment and avoiding needle passes near neurovascular structures. To pass this stitch, the camera is inserted into the knee in standard fashion, but once the camera is in place, it is critical to use a spinal needle to determine the optimal skin incision location for the working portal, as the lower jaw of the device requires an approach vector that is parallel to the peripheral aspect of the tibial plateau in the region under the meniscus tear. A skin incision that is too high will interfere with the femoral condyle and force instruments down, and a skin incision that is too low will interfere with the anterior tibia and force instruments up, each of which will result in suboptimal access to the torn region. Once the appropriate incision has been made, the device is inserted by straightening the upper jaw in line with the shaft by squeezing the orange handle with all 4 fingers. When the tip of the device reaches the apex of the meniscus, begin to relax the orange handle to allow the upper jaw to slide behind the femur, and continue to point the shaft of the device toward the space under the meniscus. Shift all 4 fingers to the white handle and extend the lower jaw under the meniscus by squeezing the gray handle until it clicks. Then, release the gray handle fully until a second click is heard. Move all 4 fingers back to the orange handle and squeeze to firmly grasp the meniscus between the upper and lower jaws, with forward pressure on the device to prevent the meniscus from squirting out of the jaws. Slowly squeeze the gray and orange handles until you hear a click to deploy the needle and suture. Relax the gray handle fully to retract the needle, then reposition the device to target placement of your second suture limb. Squeeze the orange handle to grasp the meniscus, and note that the lower jaw mark may provide a better indicator of needle position for central passes. Again, squeeze the orange handle while exerting slight forward pressure on the device to prevent squirting the meniscus out of the jaws. Deploy the needle and suture by squeezing the gray handle forward while keeping the orange handle compressed until you hear a click. Now, relax pressure on the gray handle and retract the lower jaw by pushing the red thumb lever downward. Continue to squeeze the orange handle as you exit the knee to keep the upper jaw flattened. Both suture limbs are self-retained in the upper jaw. Remove the suture ends from the upper jaw by pulling them proximally. To tie, shorten your post and throw 2 underhand throws and 1 overhand throw. Dress these throws and pull on your post to slide the knot down to the meniscus. Place the NovoCut on your post by sliding the gray lever to the right and locking the suture into the window. Release the gray lever. Push on the knot while pulling on the post to tighten your first 2 throws. Now grasp both sutures while pushing on the knot to tighten the 3rd throw. Switch posts, alternate half hitches, and tighten 2 additional throws. When you are ready to cut your sutures, load both sutures into the NovoCut by sliding open the gray lever. Push down on the knot, and while pulling tension on both suture limbs, slide the orange cut lever forward. If you want to pass a second stitch, you must unload the current cartridge. To do so, place all of your fingers on the white part of the handle and advance the lower jaw by pushing the gray handle forward. Grasp the suture spool at the proximal end of the cartridge and pull it away from the shaft and forward toward the distal end of the shaft. To load a new cartridge in the device, ensure that the underside of the shaft is visible. Align the black mark on the replacement cartridge with the distal shaft mark. With the cartridge seated in the shaft, slide the cartridge toward the handle until the cartridge snaps into place and the cartridge mark is aligned with the more proximal shaft marks. Retract the lower jaw by pushing down the red trigger. The device is now ready to place another stitch.